Okay, geometry students, this is 10.7, circles in a coordinate plane. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some of these even problems. The assignment says do 3 to 22 all. I'm going to have you just do 3 to 11 even, odds. 3 through 21 odds. So let's write that down. 3 through 21 odds. All right. Now, I'm going to look at number 4 in your book here, and notice that the hash marks there, it has -6 on them, and the -6 is in that position. It's the second hash mark to the left of the origin. That means the hash marks are going by 3s. The next thing I want to point out to you is if I draw a diameter across here, and a diameter from the top, vertical and horizontal, my center is at that position right there. And if we're going by 3s, that center is at -3, -3. And if you count from the center to the other side of the circle, you get 1, 2, 3 for the radius. Okay, so looking at a graph, you have to take into account everything they're telling you. How much each hash mark is worth, where the center is, what the radius is. Now, this is all about understanding the circle formula. Here's your circle formula. So it is x minus h, quantity squared, plus y minus k, quantity squared, equal to the radius squared. And I want to point out the important parts of all of these things. Students always leave off the squares. They forget to square the radius, and they need to have these positions with the correct signs. So a lot of stuff in this. So let's go back and talk about what we're doing on number 4. The center is -3, -3. So our parentheses, x minus h and k would be your center values. So -3. Don't forget your square. Another parentheses, y minus the k, which is -3. And equals the radius squared. Now you're not done. You need to simplify this. And when we simplify, what we need to do is do a change. All right, and so my answer is going to be x plus 3, it's still squared, y plus 3, that's still squared, and this becomes 9. All right, and that would be the answer to question number 4 in your book. All right, so now if we look at, let's just do number 8 as an example. And number 8 says the center is at 3, -5, and the radius is 7. All right, so go ahead and hit pause, and then write down what you think the answer is, and then hit play. And I'm going to go ahead right now and tell you what the answer is. So hit pause and do what you think the answer is. Okay, the answer is x minus the h, which is 3. Don't forget to square that. Plus, and that's another thing that students always mix up, where the plus and minus signs are. You need to learn what the equation is, what the formula is. Memorize it. And then the y minus k. K is -5. And then you have to square the radius. So ultimately, the answer is x minus 3 squared plus y plus 5. You have to do a change on that. Squared equals, and you actually write 49. Don't put 49 squared. This is 7 squared. It's just 49. And then that is your answer. Okay? All right, now let's go on and look at number 10. All right, so I'm going to move all this up a little bit. Okay, and number 10, the center is at 1, 2. It doesn't give the radius, so we need to figure out what the radius is. So if we drew a nice little graph here and put the center at 1, 2 and had a point at 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. There's the center, and here's the edge of the circle. Okay, whatever that looks like. Well, thankfully it's horizontal. straight across from our center. So we could count to get the radius. 1, 2, 3. So the radius is 3. If it is not horizontal, because this will happen, let me see where that is. Make sure there's nothing strange coming up. Okay, there is one. I'll do one that's harder here in a minute. Okay, so the radius is 3, and we have our center. Now go ahead and pause it and write down what you think the answer is, and then press play again. So we have x minus k squared plus y minus x minus h, y minus k. Again, h and k are your center points, center values. Don't forget the squared, and your radius squared. And then simplify. And that would be your final answer. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at problem number 14. Problem number 14 gives us the answer. X plus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 9. It wants to know the center and the radius. So here's how we do this. Look at number 10 here. And I'm going to draw some arrows here. Look at number 8. I'm sorry. Look at number 8. And 3 was the x value. And we have a minus 3 here. So notice how the signs are different from each other from the answer to the given information. And look at negative 5 on number 8. And you have plus 5 in the answer. My point is the signs are totally different from your answer to what you start with. So look at number 14 now. We have a plus 5 here. That means this is negative 5. You have a minus 3 here, so that means this is 3. So our center is at negative 5, 3. Just change the signs. And remember, 9 is equal to r squared. So to get r, we have to take the square root of both of those. So r is 3. And that would be your answer. Okay, so I had to move the screen up and down to get this information. So number 20, it says, prove or disprove whether or not this is true. 4 square root of 5 is on the circle with the center at the origin, 0, 0, and the radius equals 3. Okay, well here's how you do this. Go ahead and write the equation of the circle to start with. So we have x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals the radius squared, which is 9. So really what we have here is simplified. X minus 0 is just x squared. Y minus 0 is just y squared. And that's equal to 9. That's the equation of this circle. Now the question is 4 square root of 5 on the circle? If it is, then that means 4 will work in the x position and the square root of 5 will work in the y position. So you substitute those values in and see if it equals 9. If it equals 9, then the answer is yes. If it doesn't equal 9, then the answer is no, that point is not on the circle. So let's go ahead and fill it out. 4 squared is 16. When we square a square root, the square root goes away, leaving just the number underneath it. And 16 plus 5 is 21. That does not equal 9, so no, it's not on the circle. That's how you do those. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do 3 through 21 odds. And again, the expectation is and requirement is that you are going to look up the odd answers in the back of the book. Your work should look just like this video. I should see all of this on every problem. Please write it all down. I'm not giving you credit for no work. Obviously at the beginning, if we go back up here, I think some of you could just write those first couple answers. But you need to show me as much work as possible. All right? There's your 10-minute video. Good luck.